Sooner or later, every data scientist runs into the same thing, a giant table of numbers. You just know the insights are hiding there somewhere. Today, we're going to dig into how you find them using one of Python's most powerful tools for visualization, Matplotlib.
All right, so you've done all the heavy lifting, you've gathered all your data, and now it's just sitting there, a grid of raw numbers. So the big question is, now what? How do you even start to make sense of it all? And just staring at it? That's not going to cut it. You've got to find a way to make that data talk.
And that's exactly where visualization comes in. It really serves two huge purposes for us. First up, there's exploration. Think of this as your own private detective work, turning those numbers into shapes so you can spot patterns and start forming ideas. And second, communication. Once you've found something cool, you need to share that story with other people in a way they'll get it instantly. Both are absolutely crucial.
Okay, so what's the right tool for the job when you're working in Python? Well, while you've got a lot of options, pretty much the entire universe of Python DataViz is built on the shoulders of one giant, one library you absolutely have to get your head around.
And that library is Matplotlib. Seriously, you can think of it as the bedrock for all plotting in Python. It's just so powerful and flexible, giving you the power to create pretty much any chart you can dream up. And, in the real world, you'll almost always see it imported with this little shortcut, PLT.
All right, let's get practical. Let's say we need to start comparing different groups. Like sales numbers for different products, or maybe the number of awards won by different movies. So how do you actually show that comparison visually? Well, the go-to answer is the good old bar chart. It's perfect for this job because our brains are just wired to compare lengths super easily. Every bar is its own category, and its height tells you the whole story of its value. It's simple, it's fast, and it's incredibly effective.
Just look at this. Your brain can process the heights of these bars way faster than it could ever read a table in numbers. You don't even have to think about it. You just see which movie won more awards. With some clear labels, the whole story is told in like 2 seconds. No confusion. That's the power of a good bar chart.
Okay, but what if you're not comparing different things? What if you've just got one big list of numbers, say all the scores from an exam, and you just want to get a feel for how those numbers are spread out? You need to see where they all clump together. For that job, you want a histogram. Now, this might look like a bar chart at first glance, but trust me, it's a totally different beast. What it does is it takes your whole range of numbers, chops them up into little bins or buckets, and then just counts how many of your numbers fall into each one. The result? It shows you the shape of your data. And just like that, we get a feel for the class's performance. We're not looking at single grades anymore. We're seeing the shape of the outcome. You can see that big cluster right in the middle in the 80s. That peak tells a story that a simple list of numbers never could, at least not at a glance. Okay, let's switch gears. What if your data isn't just a collection of things, but something that unfolds over time? How can we actually see a trend as it's happening? This is the perfect job for a line chart. When you connect a series of data points with a line, you're creating this powerful visual story of a trend, whether that's stock prices going up and down, or, as we'll see next, the rise of an entire industry. I mean, look at that. The story of data's growing importance is right there in that single climbing line. The trend isn't just clear, it's dramatic. That upward slope just visualizes the growth year after year, and that's what makes line charts so powerful for showing change. So far, we've really only been looking at one variable at a time. But what if you've got two different sets of numbers, and you're wondering, hey, are these two things related at all? Like, does having more friends on a social site mean you spend more time there? For this kind of investigation, the scatter plot is your absolute best friend. You stick one variable on the x-axis, the other on the y-axis, and you plot a single dot for every data point. And that cloud of dots that appears, that's where the magic happens. It can show you all kinds of patterns. Yeah, just by plotting every user as a single dot, we can immediately start to hunt for a pattern. Do the dots seem to go up and to the right? Maybe that means there's a connection. Or is it just a random mess of dots? Then maybe there's no relationship at all. The scatter plot lets you see these possibilities in a heartbeat. But, and this is a huge but, scatter plots can be tricky. Imagine we're plotting something like grades from test 1 versus test 2. Looking at this chart, it seems kind of chaotic, right? Like there's no real connection. Something feels off. And if you're looking at that and thinking, something's not right here, your gut is spot on. You always got to ask yourself, am I telling the truth with this chart? Is there something I'm doing that could be misleading someone? Or
maybe even misleading myself. And here's the big gotcha. The quote really says it all. The problem pops up when you just let the software, in this case Matplotlib, choose the scale for your axes on its own. It'll try to stretch the data to fill the space, and if the ranges are even a little bit different, you can get a really distorted picture.
So here's what was happening. That misleading chart scaled one axis from 80 to 100, but the other from 60 to 100. It stretches and squishes the data visually. So what's the fix? Simple. You take control. You set both axes to the same honest-to-goodness scale. For test scores, that's 0 to 100. And bam, suddenly the real story pops right out.
So let's nail this down. Bar charts, use them to compare separate things. Histograms, to see how your numbers are spread out. Line charts, for showing trends over time. And scatter plots, perfect for exploring relationships. But the biggest lesson of all, no matter what you're making, always check your axes.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. We're not just making pretty pictures, we're telling stories with data. And every single choice you make, the type of chart, the colors, the labels, and especially the axes, it all shapes that story. So the question I'll leave you with is, what story are your charts going to tell?
And that's our look at Matplotlib for today. If you found this helpful and you want to make more complex topics clear, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Keep asking questions and keep exploring.